Vexillarius, the tutorial creature here, and today I'm going to show you how to install Tale of Two Wastelands version 3.3. For reference, Tale of Two Wastelands will package Fallout 3 into a mod, and then place it into New Vegas, and then you use a mod manager to make New Vegas recognize it, and then you can play Fallout 3 in New Vegas with the better engine and all that. So, first of all, you Google Tale of Two Wastelands, go to the official website, you'll click to the download thing, see 3.3, you select the continent that you're on for a closer mirror, and you can also get these various mods here. They are also linked on the install guide, which is here, and you can access this guide by going here. So, once you have your file downloaded, you'll go to the TTW installation guide. This is an introduction. So first of all, make sure you have a legal copy of the game. At least I recommend it. I have no idea if it works on a non-verified copy. I recommend you just purchase the game on Steam or GOG. Windows 7 or higher, at least 22 gigabytes of RAM. You need to have DirectX runtime libraries. The way you get that is you go here, and then you select your language, and then you click download. For this part, Microsoft Visual C++, 2013 and 2015 through 2019, the way you obtain these is, as before, click here. Okay. It's odd how it reacted that way. Visual Studio 2013. So, you go here, see Visual Studio 2013, x86 and x64. These are 4 different instruction sets. You will click this, and then you will click this, install the x86, and then install the x64. You'll just have a download file for it. And then for this part, which is 2015 through 2019, exact same web page, scroll up, and you'll see x86 and x64 do the exact same thing. You download these files, you double click them, and you install them. Order doesn't really matter. For the DirectX runtime libraries, when you download it, it will be a compressed archive. So when you open it, you double click it, it'll ask you where to extract to. Just select your downloads, click OK, and then run the executable. It's somewhere in there. You'll know when you see it. It's an application file. This is just to make sure that you have DirectX runtime libraries installed. You should have them installed by default, but this is just a preliminary check. So once you have those, recommend you have Notepad++ because it's wonderful, 7-zip because it's wonderful, you need graphics card drivers, and you need a Nexus Mods account to download mods off the Nexus. If you have an AMD graphics card, type in AMD GPU drivers, you go to their website and you click download now. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll type in NVIDIA GPU drivers, you go to their website, you select your graphics card, and then you download. Once you have those installed, then, you've successfully completed the requirements, assuming you have 22 gigabytes of space and you have an operating system that's, newer than roughly 13 years. And recommended specs, anything that's been put out in the last decade or longer. Now, initial setup, as a brief rundown of this, they recommend that you install under C Games Steam rather than a Windows UAC controlled file structure. So an example of that is if I go to C here, see Program Files and Program Files x86. This is governed by Windows Account Control, UAC. Something that is not governed by User Account Control would be something like this. I made this folder called Modding. So they recommend that you create a folder, click right there, make one called Games, and then you place your thing into there. Because I don't have that, and I have it in Steam, I'll do it the incorrect way now and recommend that you do it with Games, and then I'll pay the price if it doesn't work. So, once you've installed in the correct location, if you want to uninstall, then just delete the files, and install via Steam or GOG, and so forth. And then this is how you would make a new Steam library. The links for everything will be in the description, so if you want to move it to a different directory, you can do that. It'll be on the guide under Initial Setup. And then install the games, and then key terminology. The root folder refers to the main game folder. Data folder is the data folder in that, and so forth. They recommend you enable file extensions, which I don't know why it's not enabled by default. You just go there, file name extensions. And yeah, how to get INIs is you run Fallout 3 and you run Fallout New Vegas, download them on GOG or Steam, run them once so you get through that launcher, you configure your graphic settings, you click play, and then you close it out, and now you have INI files, which are configuration files. Once you've done this for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and have all the required things, and you've downloaded Tale of Two Wastelands, now you can install it. This is the Mod Organizer 2-step. I covered this in the prior tutorial, which will be linked in the description. Now, Tale of Two Wastelands time. So, to install Tale of Two Wastelands, you need to download Tale of Two Wastelands. That's a given. So, you see here, back in the Tale of Two Wastelands installer, run the exe. So, let's do that. Let's go to downloads. We have Tale of Two Wastelands version 3. I extracted it already, so you won't have to wait around. And you see we have these various files here. So, you see ttw install exe. Go right here, and yeah, we can see that they recommend you go to the exe and run as administrator. So right click it, and then you're going to click run as administrator. You get a Windows prompt that demands that you verify, which of course. So minimize that. As you can see, I'm installing it via Steam directly, which is under a UAC file path, which I haven't changed yet. If this doesn't work, then I'll obviously change this, but I'm just showing for the average user to see if it'll work. If it doesn't work, you know, I'll let you know. And now that we've done that, it says installer verify that the file paths are correct. Just make sure that these are the correct file paths. In this case, they are. And then it says set the Tale of Two Wastelands path to the file path Mod Organizer 2 mods Tale of Two Wastelands. I have something very similar but slightly different. So, that modding thing I told you about, go to your drive, so C, and then modding, and then from the from the Mod Organizer 2 tutorial, I have MO2, and I have TTW MO2. This is my Tale of Two Wastelands instance. So, I go in there, I go in mods, you create a folder called Tale of Two Wastelands. If you don't have one, just go here, folder, and then call it Tale of Two Wastelands. Because I already made one, I'm not going to do that because it already exists. Enter there, click select folder. So now your file path is the C drive or D drive. The modding folder that you made, note you have to make it. It doesn't come standard. And then your Tale of Two Wastelands Mod Organizer 2 instance, or just Mod Organizer in general, whatever you want to call it. Mods, and then Tale of Two Wastelands, and then select. So now, our Fallout 3 file path is here, our Fallout New Vegas file path is here, and our Tale of Two Wastelands is specified to install there. Once we finish this, we use our Mod Organizer tool to then grab it and install it. So, once you've verified these, see, well, sure your paths look similar to the above, and then you will click Install. So, click the wonderful green highlighted button, Install, right here. And then you will see this little progress indicator. And this, right now, is taking all the contents of Fallout 3 and it's crushing them up into a delicious package to be lobbed into your Fallout New Vegas via a mod manager. In version 2.9.4 Bravo, which is the prior version before version 3, went 3.2, 3.1, 3.2, now 3.3, I believe. So, in the prior versions, this took about 2 hours to run on a quad-core processor. I'm doing this on a 12-core processor, so it might be a little bit faster, but for the sake of your sanity, I will pause the recording and then I will come back to it. Here we go, and after about an hour and a half to 2 hours, we are greeted with this. Installation has completed. Ensure that your load order resembles this. So, I put a screenshot of this into the Discord general, but for your viewing purposes, it is here in the video. So, we have New Vegas, its DLCs, Fallout 3, its DLCs, the New Vegas packs, and then Uchikage's unofficial patch, as well as, of course, the Tale of Two Wastelands ESM. And in order to run this, you need 4GB patcher, XNVSE, and then Lutana. So, I believe this is a hyperlink, so clicking it would do this. Yep. So, the 4GB patcher is something you will need. You will also need XNVSE, which will take you to GitHub. And from GitHub, well, there's also chip ln and VSE. Now, for the purpose of brevity, I've already downloaded these. So, I'll show you how to install those along with your smorgasbord of modding joys. So, first of all, go back to downloads, and in this case, it would just be here for you if you just download it, but I moved it into this folder. So, these are all the files you'll need. So, first off, we're going to grab the 4GB patcher. Let's make a folder to keep track of this. So, I'm just going to call it done. So, first of all, we have the 4GB patch, extract here, and we're just going to do extract files. Okay, and we have it here. So go inside, we have the nvpatch.exe, copy this, and then go to where your New Vegas is hiding. So C, program files x86, Steam, Steam apps, common, Fallout New Vegas, paste, run this as administrator, click yes, New Vegas patched, and then press any key to continue. So I'll press W. So now our game is patched. You don't necessarily need this file anymore. You have the backup there, so ka-chow. So this is backup. What this means is this is the original exe before we applied the patch. This is the patched exe, which is now renamed followNV.exe, so that when the game runs, it'll use that. So your game can now address 4 GB of RAM instead of 2 GB of RAM. Or, if you want to be more technical about it, it is a 32-bit application that is now allowed to use as much RAM as a 32-bit application can address. So, downloads, go back here, and we already have, we have our patcher installed, so let's move it to done so we have a nicer looking setup. Now that the patcher is done, I say we install NVSE, or XNVSE. So, 7-zip, extract files, okay. For reference, XNVSE just means version 6 and above. So, we're going to grab data. Well, actually, we're going to grab everything. So, highlight all this, copy, and then go back to where your game is. So, C, program files x86, Steam, Steam apps, common, Fallout New Vegas, and then we're going to paste. Go into data, and then you're going to be greeted with all these wonderful sights and sounds. It's truly a carnival of the senses. And we're going to see NVSE. And note that we don't have a folder called plugins yet. We're going to fix that. We're going to make a folder called plugins because this is extremely important. So, we have NVSE now. You can see it's hiding in here. We have NVSE right there. So, data, NVSE, plugins, and then this is where any NVSE plugin will go. There are a lot of them that you will need for this. So, keep this in mind. You have to create the plugins folder. You have to create this. Every time I make an NVSE tutorial, I somehow forget to mention plugins, and then I get a lot of comments about it. So always create the plugins folder in Fallout New Vegas, data, NVSE, plugins. Plugins go here. So just to keep that in mind. So now I have a new window here. And right now, let me move this. So right now we have NVSE installed. We have the 4GB patcher installed. So let's move NVSE over here. And next we need Jip Lutana. So Jip ln and VSE plugin. I prefer to manually install. You can install this with Mod Organizer. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way of manually installing it because I prefer to do it this way. So, you see here, NVSE, plugins, and then just copy, and then go to your plugins folder and paste. That's it. So, that is gypln. So now that gypln is installed, this is the end of everything that is required for Tale of Two Wastelands. Now, I can't talk. Now we are going to cover the recommended mods that aren't necessarily 100% essential, but the developers really would like you to have them. They are under the Essential Mods section. If you install these, your game will run much better. So, you can technically stop here if you just want the bare bones experience, but if you want it optimized, continue watching. So we have all these files here, and we will install them, aside from this, this PNG. So, with that away, this is our plugins folder, and we may as well click, because we already have these now, exit, and go into Mod Organizer, and I should probably mention this before you all flee. I guess I forgot to remove that folder. Tale of Two Wastelands. And we have it organized here. So, Tale of Two Wastelands is here. And we also have NVSE there. And then this is going to run the 4GB patcher by default. So, perfect. Now, let's get on to the mods that we should have installed. The essential mods. We have 4GB patcher, we have XNVSE. We also have gypln and Latana. It's further down here, but that is required. So I will do an editing cut right here, and this will be the end of the main video, and we'll start the following video that goes over these mods. Okay, I'm back. So as a recap, we've covered Mod Organizer, we've covered Tale of Two Wastelands install, we've covered XNVSE, gypln plugin for NVSE, and the 4GB patcher, which are all required for Tale of Two Wastelands. Now we're going to cover mods that you should have, but are not necessarily required. They are essential, but not required. Make sure that your profile is active. So we have the 4GB patcher, we have XNVSE. Now let's get the heap replacer. So download it from the link provided here. So, go on the Nexus to get that. From the download archives, you're going to grab CPU info. So, first of all, using the manual download, grab the file, unzip it, and you'll get that executable, and then run it, and it'll tell you which version of the mod you should use based off of your processor. So, I say we do that. So, let's go to our downloads, and we're going to look through this, and we're going to find New Vegas. Here we go. You can type HR, New Vegas heap replacer. So 7-zip, extract files, okay. Go into here, and we're going to see different instructions at base things. We're going to see CPU info exe. We're going to see a temporary DLL and a README. So we are going to run this as administrator. Right click and then run as administrator. Click yes. Use AVX2, so I have a 12-core processor, so that's funny, I don't have AVX 512 support. Interesting. So use AVX2, so I'll click W, any key. So now we know that we want AVX2. So we're going to grab this DLL, copy it, and then, go to the folder, grab the DLL, and then move it to the game's root folder. So we're going to go to our other window, which is in the game's root folder. So Steam Apps Common Fall to Vegas, and paste. That is New Vegas Heap Replacer. Not New Vegas Hip Replacer. That's a different kind of surgery. So right now, we have Heap Replacer installed. gypln, we already did that. You need to install this to make, TTW work in the first place, so that's done. Johnny Guitar. My Johnny. God dang it, Bobby. Okay, so now we go over here. So anyway, heap replacer can sit there. And now we're going to get Johnny Guitar and VSE. So Johnny Guitar and VSE is sitting right here. So 7-zip, extract files, same thing as last time. Go here, NVSE plugins, and we have these. So copy, go to your NVSE plugins. So data, NVSE, plugins, paste. Johnny Guitar is now installed, so throw it in the trash. And then take your Johnny Guitar zip and then put it in done, because it's done. Oh boy, the oven's finished. New Vegas tick fix. This is wonderful. And it is essential if you have a monitor that's higher than 60 Hz, which is probably most of you watching this. So let's see. NVTF, can we find it? Maybe we can. So look around here for NVTF. Found it. And then we're going to do 7-zip extract. NVTF, NVSE, plugins, NVTF. Copy it again. And then lob it into NVSE plugins. So NVTF is done. Let's find that. Move it into done. So the New Vegas tick fix is complete, and then I'm just going right down the list in the instructions. I recommend that you have this page open along with this video just in case you get confused about something. So there we go. And then next we have the mod limit fix. So this is going to be another super cool plugin. So mod limit fix, this is our plugins view. This is our downloads view. So we're going to look through here and find the plugins fix, the mod limit fix. So FNV mod limit fix, 7-zip extract files, hit OK. Data, NVSE plugins, copy, and then paste. And then we can just delete this because we don't need it anymore. So mod limit fix is done. And what's next? Stewie's tweaks. So the installation would be Stewie's tweaks, collection of many configurable quality of life improvements. Let's also download the mod using the other button, finish the install normally through mod organizer. So in this case, I'll use mod organizer to show you that version of doing it. So mod organizer. And then we're going to click this little icon that looks like a little CD. Downloads. And then we're going to go over here. And first of all, we need Stewie's tweaks so that we can, well, tweak it. So that's kind of a given. So Stewie's tweaks. And then we're going to click open. Okay. And apply that. And now we're going to go over, oh look, request failed, error transferring API. Okay, well, that's unrelated. So now we have Stewie's tweaks installed. Go back here, so Stewie's tweaks, main file, collection of many configurable quality life features. Now for the custom INI, so download this, and then install through mod organizer. Again, in this case, it's slightly different, so open this link, and then all you're going to do is click download. So once you have Stewie's tweaks, the custom INI, download it, and then install it through mod organizer. So we're going to do just that. So look around, Stewie's tweaks, custom INI, open. Let's just call it custom INI. Okay. And then we're going to check that. So download the mod using the download button, finish and install normally. So that's about it. And then now we are going to do UIO, which is for interfaces. This is great. A lot of mods use this. So first of all, in mod organizer, we're going to look for UIO. Grab that. So we select UIO. UIO is now into the game, or well, the mod manager I should say. Now, one tweak is great for full screen because it tricks the game into thinking it's windowed, because it does like a, does a very fancy method of kind of treating it as full screen when it's actually in windowed. It's a form of borderless full screen, if I recall correctly, if I'm not mistaking it for a different mod. And since we have one tweak there, we have to make an INI tweak if we ran the game in different formats. So one tweak, if you're planning to run in windowed mode, you can skip this. We're playing in full screen. So download the above mod and install through Mod Organizer. And then in Mod Organizer, we're going to use the INI editor. So click this, INI editor, go back to your instructions, and then you're going to look around and see Fallout Custom INI. So Fallout Custom INI, go here, and then we're going to look at our guide, set B full screen to 0. So let's look around for it. B full screen is set to 0. Perfect. So that's pretty much all we wanted to do there. Enables borderless windowed mode for alt tabbing, which is great for my streams because I destroy the game very often. So anniversary animation pack. File animations are essential. So download the file off the Nexus. Again, this is the Nexus page for it. If you follow this guide website, every little header is a link, so you can click on that. It would be extraneous for me to include every link in the description because this is faster for you. So download and install the file through Mod Organizer 2. Once the mod's been installed, you're going to do some super fancy, super wonderful file tree stuff, which is new. So go in here and find the animation anniversary pack. That's the bug fix. There's the pack. So open. And then we're also going to grab the bug fix for it. And before we go any further, let's clean this up a little bit so it's a little bit less cluttered. So UIO, we have that. We have Stewie stuff. We have one tweak. We have the Stewie stuff. We have the animation stuff, but we're messing around with that right now, so I won't mess with it. And then we have these things. So we're messing with these two right now. So we're almost done. So look here. Download and install the main file through Mod Organizer 2. Once the mod has been installed, double-click on the left panel and click File Tree. So first of all, we're going to go into here. Animation pack. Bug fix. And you can see that we have a really interesting error now. We have a conflict. Unless it's conflict or a dependency. I can't recall. So double click on it. And then we're going to go to File Tree. So, File Tree. Meshes. And we have quite a few things going on here. So, go back to your thing here. And Anniversary Animation Pack. Download and install the main file. Once the mod has been installed, double click on it and go to File Tree. And then delete every folder except the characters folder. So, go back here, and you see these folders. We don't want those, so delete. Are you sure? Yes. So we have deleted it, and that seems to be it. So close. Now, we don't have any issues. We are green. And then just to double check, let's go into here, File Tree, Meshes, Characters. Actually, I think that this view means that this is the main file and this is a dependent. The dependent is red, and if I'm on the dependent, the file that requires the dependent, no, the dependent depends on the file, that file is green. So, red, green. In this case, red and green doesn't correlate to if it's wrong or correct, it just correlates to which one is the main file and which one is based off of it. So I rescind my prior statement. So now we have installed the animation pack. And, well, the general bug fix. It fixes many things. It's wonderful. Oh, and I guess it really helps if I remember to apply the bonus patch also. So let me grab that real fast. Bonus patch. Let me just call it animation bonus patch so I don't forget it later on in life when I come back to this and think, huh, I really don't remember what that was. So right now we have the animation pack, the animation pack, and the animation pack. Those are done. And now we have this. Looks wonderful. And then we have the IS control enabler. So for this will tie into our previous animations. So let's go back into our folder. Make sure you have IS control. Of course, every single mod I'm showing here, you click on this link, you go to the page, and you download it. So once you have this, you're going to go into Mod Organizer, grab the file, grab IS control. Okay. And there you go. You have installed all the mods, you have installed Tale of Two Wastelands, and let's take a look at our load order. Our load order looks wonderful. We only have 19 active plugins, we have 9 active mods, and our game is looking very, very handsome, I might say, I might add. So, this part is for testing the mods. You launch the game, you enter the console pressing the tilde key, and then you're going to type out these different commands. Note that similar to VHDL, whatever the game's console is based off of does not care if you type in uppercase or lowercase, so you can type in everything lowercase, everything uppercase, doesn't matter. I always type get NVSE version lowercase, but this way is easier to read, so I'm going to cut it here, and then I'm going to go in game and I will show you these commands. So let me switch over. And I am back. So for this part I have muted the in-game audio because of copyright and Todd Howard. So press the tilde key under your escape key on the left upper hand side of your keyboard, and you'll be greeted with the console. If everything worked, your game will launch. The first time you launch it, it's normal that it crashes. So mine crashed, and then it worked, so I'm happy about that. If it didn't work, I'd feel pretty sad about this tutorial. So we're in the console right now, and we're going to enter in those commands I showed you a moment ago. So first of all, we're going to type excuse me, get NVSE version, get NVSE version. This will be a battle if I can spell words correctly. NVSE version 6. So NVSE is good to go. I really love that it shows me when I enter these commands. I absolutely love that. That's awesome. Now, get is LAA, or large address aware. Get is LAA. Correct. 2. If it prints 0, the patch applied incorrectly. If it's 1, you need to run Mod Organizer as administrator, and 2, it worked. So, perfect. Now, we're going to do load checks on the DLLs. Is DLL loaded? And then we're going to type in D3, D9. So this is referring to a DirectX 9 based DLL. DX9, my mistake. D3, DX9 underscore 38. And then we're going to press enter. Correctly installed. If it's 0, then the heap replacer did not work. So our heap replacer is working perfectly. And now we're going to check NVTF. So if you press up on your keyboard, the up arrow, it will load your most recently used command. So we're going to remove that part and type in NVTF. New Vegas tick fix. it refers to 1. So let's check. If it refers to 1, it's correctly installed. Perfect. Now, we're going to check the mod limit fix. So load most recently used command, mod limit fix, enter, and it refers to value 1. So check the guide. 1 is correctly installed. And now, let's check one tweak. So, most recent command, and then 1 tweak, enter, refers to value 1. So that is installed correctly. Fantastic. This means that all of our files are installed correctly, and we can now celebrate by jumping up and down and screaming hooray. So your game now has everything. It's very greedy. And just to show you that the game does indeed work, let me load a file. So I don't want to go into dead money, that would make me feel very sad. So let me launch a save that's in Fallout 3. Oh, this is fantastic that it shows you the missing files. So I'm loading a very old save. This is back from TTW version... Oh man, this is like version 2.9 or 2.8. And it loads perfectly. Oh, this is fantastic. And let me enable the sound so that it sounds... Oh, more menus. I like. So, we're here in Fallout 3. We are Squilliam. And if you go into here, settings, and then you go into tweaks, you can see the various settings, and you can change a lot of things. You can have a 12-hour Pip-Boy clock, you can have a 24-hour Pip-Boy clock, you can have an onion. Well, I guess you might not have an onion. I'm very sorry about that. But anyway, you're in the game. It works. Everything is great. You have a super fast 144 frames in Fallout 3 portion. And just to show you, because I've done benchmarks on this game a lot, Oasis is the most demanding area in Fallout 3.
We welcome you with outstretched. You will.
Yeah. Sorry, that's part of the tutorial. Excuse me. This is very rude. I'm trying to make a quality tutorial. Here we go. That's a professional way of doing it. Anyway, this is the most demanding area of the game, aside from parts of DC. This one little crevice in the rocks. So, as you can see, we are maintaining a consistent frame rate, and our game is running very well. And to end the benchmark, if you go over here, you'll see the Enclave hiding out, mocking the people who despise them so. Well, actually, I think I destroyed them already. But the point is, it's running smoothly. We have a consistent 144 FPS, and everything is great. So, yeah, quick save just because. And then you can quit the game by pressing tilde and typing QQQ. Now you have Tale of Two Wastelands. It runs really well, and you have every optimization mod recommended by the Tale of Two Wastelands dev team. I have a Discord which is in the description. The Tale of Two Wastelands team has a Discord. If you enjoy this mod, make sure to send them all a nice thank you message for their fantastic work. And if I can't answer your questions, they can probably answer your questions. I'm sure they can answer your questions. I don't mean to lob people at them with tech support stuff, because that's kind of rude of me. So if you have issues, I'll try my best to solve them, and if for whatever reason we can't resolve them, then I'm sure they can resolve them. So I hope this was an effective tutorial, and now you can enjoy Tale of Two Wastelands. Thank you for watching.